Hello and welcome to St James's Park for what is the second of 3 consecutive home games this week. Oldham Athletic are the visitors and this is Park Life. Coming up on today's show, we hear from manager Matt Taylor and we look into the opposition camp with Oldham fan Adam Millington. There's also a look back at a cut encounter with Oldham as well. But first, let's take a look back at the action from this week on the field with matches against Bradford and West Brom.
Good delivery towards that 6-yard box and a looping header. It was easy in the end for O'Connell. Bradford taking down this left-hand side. Callum Cook was a lovely ball in. And there is the opening goal for Billy Clark. 10 minutes gone. Nice flick up. Across comes O'Connor. Oh, he's given the ball away. And there is an equaliser. And it's Matt J, after good work from Jake Taylor, to tee him up, and Exeter City are back on level terms. Good hunting down by Jake Taylor, and he prods it inside, and it's a narrow angle. He's done ever so well. Archie Collins. He's continued his run here, Archie Collins. Pulls it back, and Bowman makes it 2-1. From behind, they now lead. In form, Exeter City. They fought their way back into this game. Good play this from Archie Collins to pull it back, and Ryan Bowman was able to apply the field. Watt with the corner, and Reece Staunton makes it 2-2. Bradford City, round off led at one stage. Both teams had to fight back. Bradford City 2, Exeter City 2.
Harry Kite plays into Nicky Jose, back to Harry Kite on the overlap, looks to play across, what a good finish. started the move, played the 1-2 with Nicky Jose, a fantastic finish, and Harry Kite has his second goal of the season in this competition. So what a good goal that was, Kev.
That's just outstanding play, winning the ball on the halfway line, making the pass and then following it, creating that 2v1 on the overlap, and in fairness to Nicky Jose, excellent weight of pass and timing to set him through.
Oh, chance here for Ben Seymour. He's broken through, picked up on the mistake, and a really good finish. 2-0 to Exeter. Ben Seymour, excellent play and fully deserved for his hard work so far this evening, Kev.
He may have pulled his hamstring while scoring though.
Yeah, he has pulled up, which is not particularly good news.
No, again, it's just typical of him, isn't it? He's turned a long ball into something really positive. He's got on the end of it, really composed finish, and I really hope that that isn't what it looks like.
Hartridge plays straight over that press into Jack Sparks, who again looks to go 1v1 against Taylor. Cuts inside, fantastic play from Jack Sparks. He's going to go alone, and Jack Sparks has scored a fantastic goal for Exeter City.
First of all, what a pass.
What a pass from Alex
Hartridge, by the way.
Yep.
He's just driven one dead straight, arrow line down the byline, 50 yards into Sparks' path. But after that, I mean,
kept going and going.
Great use of his body, great feet, decent pace, and then he must have shimmied about 3 times, moving defenders without touching the ball, and they all fell over to then stick it in with his right foot. And
Creases back foot. Really nice 1-2. Nicky Law into the box. Great ball in towards Lewis Wilson. Can't quite get the finishing touch, but he's got possession here. He's turned really smartly. Great little ball. Fantastic work from Lewis Wilson and Nicky Law. Great finish in off the bar, and it's 4-0 to Exeter City.
yeah, great reactions from Lewis Wilson. He had half a sniff himself, couldn't quite get the contact on it, but reacted, and a brilliant turn. He'll be delighted with an assist, and spectacular finish from 3 yards out.
Yeah. If you're going to score from 3 yards, that's the way to do it. But yeah.
Here are the thoughts of manager Matt Taylor as he discusses his plans ahead of this game with Oldham.
Hopefully we'll keep them quiet and implement our own game plan. A difficult team to prepare for, and that's no disrespect to Oldham. They've probably been a little bit inconsistent so far this season, but I've just touched upon it there. They've got some fantastic players for this level. Beat Cheltenham at home recently, and we watched that game in detail, and are a real threat. So, look, we've got an idea of what's coming this weekend. As always, our focus is on ourselves, controlling what we can control. We might have to move a few bodies around on the back of the injuries we picked up this week and obviously last weekend. But a game which is the first of 2 home games, and we know what our target is. It's to win them both.
You talked about, obviously, it's hard to plan for a team like Oldham, but they have got some superb players. Conor McElhaney, who's played in the league above, and obviously a youngster in Zach Durnley, who has been scoring goals quite a lot this season.
Yeah, look, those are individuals in amongst a good collective team. I think a couple have been away on international duty, a couple have struggled with injuries. They've obviously had a situation with COVID up in the northwest as well. So they've probably not had their strongest team out often enough this season. There's a few faces we know from playing against them in recent seasons, but 19 new signings. It'll take time for a new manager and that group of new players as well. So they'll need time to bed in and find a system. But I don't want to talk too much about the opposition. I can't control that. All we can be is aware of them. But we've got to back ourselves in terms of what we do at the park.
Going back to Tuesday's win against West Brom, I know you were disappointed about the opposition, but has anyone from our side impressed you enough to be given a chance on Saturday that you might necessarily not have given a chance to?
Well, first and foremost, you can't give a chance if they don't quite merit it. You've got to look at the players in the shirts already who are performing really well. It's just been ready. The news from Tuesday night was that group of players, whether they be senior or even younger ones, looked ready for the first team action. And they'll need to be ready because we've got so many games in quick succession. We don't expect to have to change too much apart from the lads who've been struggling with injuries this weekend. The rest are in relatively good form, and we're always looking for improvements. But this group of players, whether they played on Tuesday or not, will continue to get their opportunity.
It's time now to hear from Captain Jake Taylor. If he continues his current form, he is on course for his best goal-scoring season with City. Here are his thoughts ahead of today's game against Oldham.
Hopefully we can continue our good run of form going into November. So, it's definitely a really good start to the season. If you're going to, pick little things out, it'd be nice to, pick up a few more wins and turn those draws into wins. But, so far it's been a really good start and hopefully we can continue that.
You mentioned there about a few of the draws. I think that game at Bradford last week was certainly one where we thought that we perhaps should have taken all 3 points, especially with the chances we had in the second half. Has the manager been doing anything different this week? Sort of shooting practice a lot more? Or?
Not really, no. I think it's important that we're getting in these positions to create these opportunities. Some of our attacking play so far this season has been pretty impressive to watch and be involved in. So as long as we can keep getting these good positions and creating chances, then they're gonna fall for us soon. But like I said before, 2 all away at Bradford, probably not the worst result in the world, but it would have been really nice if we could have scored another one and came back with 3 points.
And it's great again that on Saturday we'll be at home. Our home form has been so good this season. I think some people probably thought after that defeat to Port Vale, would no fans affect us? But it doesn't look like it has. And obviously it's so important to keep that good home form, isn't it?
Yeah, I think home form is, so important. If you can, win your home games and go and, draw your away games or, pick up some good wins on the road, it's, you'll be in a good place. So, I think over the years, our home form's been, pretty impressive for sure. And this season's been no different. So
now we hear from club historian Will Barrett, who takes a look back at some classic encounters with the Latics.
City return to action this weekend against Oldham Athletic for what will be the 32nd time these two teams have played each other in league and cup competitions. In the cups, it's 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat apiece, with City's victory coming way back in 1937 when the teams met for the very first time. In the league, though, it is a different story, with City coming out on top with 13 wins to Oldham's 8 across 28 matches in both the 3rd and 4th tiers of English football. In recent years, the record looks even better for the Grecians, since meeting up back in the league for the first time in almost 40 years in 2009. City have won 5 out of 10, whilst also picking up 4 draws over that time. Last season, Oldham were one of the teams that we played twice before the season was curtailed. A goalless draw back in August 2019 was part of our 10-game unbeaten run at the start of the league campaign, whilst in February 2020 the goals matched up with the weather as they rained down in a 5-1 win at the park, our biggest win of the season. From one extreme to the other, either one of those results from last season would be welcomed news, as it will confirm the club's longest unbeaten run in our near 120-year history. Let's not get carried away just yet, though.
As Will mentioned, the last time Oldham Athletic visited the park, we ran out 5-1 winners shortly before the season was ended in March. Let's take a look back at that thumping victory. We now get the view from the opposition camp. Here is Oldham fan and journalist Adam Millington with his thoughts on the game ahead.
Adam, thanks for joining me on Park Life. Just wanted to talk to you obviously about Oldham Athletic. Just to start off with, how did you become an Oldham fan, and what's your Oldham Athletic journey?
My dad's an Oldham fan, supported same club as my dad. He got the good days of Premier League highs, and I've had League One and now League Two football for my entire life, and yeah, that's been it.
This season then, Harry Kewell has come in. How would you assess how he has done and how Oldham's season has gone so far?
It's been a bit of an underwhelming one, but not much worse than it was last season. There's been a massive change in the squad. They finished the season with only 6 players, I think, contracted at the end of the season. So a complete overhaul and lots of young players coming in from the Premier League too. So it's a bit of just getting in who he can onto his side. The football's been all right at times. The results have picked up recently. They beat Cheltenham, but then they lost at the weekend as well. So it's been a bit hit and miss at times under Harry Kewell.
But they have got some fairly decent players. I mean, Conor McAleny, for sure, is probably playing in a league much lower than his quality shows. I mean, you must be really pleased to have a player like him in the squad.
Yeah, the problem has been recently injuries mainly. We've had McAleny and Durnley have both been out. Whether McAleny will be back for the weekend, hopefully he should be. Then there've been a couple of players self-isolating. So we've gone from having, as a side, one of the better attacks in the league to quickly being decimated and really only having a handful of strikers to pick who will have to play Saturday, Tuesday every week.
And how has COVID affected the squad this season? Obviously, I know that Harry Kewell had it at one point. Has it affected you quite badly?
Harry Kewell tested positive. Then there was another player that tested positive. Then there were 2 that had to self-isolate for a bit under the FA protocols, but I don't think they had to do a full 14 days. Carl Piergianni, centre-back, it'll be his first game back if he plays on Saturday because he's just back from 14-day self-isolation. So it's been hit quite badly across the entire team with different players testing positive.
Looking at your away form, I mean, 4 away wins from your last 5 games in all competitions, it must give you good confidence coming into a game. Obviously, Exeter, we're known for our good home form.
Yeah, the away form is something that's good, but I don't really think you can read too much into the difference between home and away form, especially with COVID now. You would normally be able to tell a difference with the fans in and maybe having the away fans backing you. It's been good on the road. It was a good performance against Colchester, the 3-3 draw. That was probably one of the better performances of the season. Dylan Bahambula's debut. They've been decent on the road. Maybe they've probably not had what they need to have at home at times. They had the win against Cheltenham, but apart from that, they've struggled at some of the games. But yeah, away from home, it's good to have a decent record at least going into the game.
Who is the player that Exeter City fans, well, and everyone watching the game should keep an eye out for on the Oldham side?
I just mentioned the name there, Dylan Bahambula. Young, well, actually, I think he's 24, might be a bit older. He's just come over from playing Bulgarian football, really unknown to the Oldham fans when he signed. He is very skillful, very fast. I think statistics-wise, there are a couple I've seen where he's one of the better players in the league for his dribbles, even last weekend. If he comes up against a wing-back, he will do lots of step-overs and get past them. He's the sort of player that you very rarely see in this league. His end product may not be the best, but if he's got the chance to pull it back to a Zach Durnley, a Conor McElhenney, a Danny Rode, they're going to score 9 times out of 10. But going forward, he's incredible. There's also Harry Clark in centre-back, who's on loan from Arsenal recently. He's performed well since his loan. Quite an old-fashioned centre-back, even though they're 19 years old. He very much likes the physical element of the game, and he can make it difficult for strikers.
I'm going to ask you the all-important question then is, do you want to make a score prediction for the game?
If I'm being honest, probably 2-1 Exeter. I think looking at the performance in Oldham's last game and comparing it against the previous ones, especially Zach Durnley has had quite a lot of injuries and he definitely won't be playing. There will likely be no McElhenney. It will be quite hard to find a way to score goals, and the defence is still sort of shoring itself up. Harry Clark's made an impact. Cal Piergiani's only just coming back from his self-isolation. So I think Exeter will probably just edge it, to be honest, at the weekend.
Well, obviously, hopefully that's the case from our perspective. Will you be watching the game on iFollow?
Yeah, I should be. I'm not making the trip down to cover it. So, yeah, I think I'll be there. Fingers crossed it loads up, and I'll be watching it on iFollow.
Great stuff, Adam. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
It's been a memorable campaign for City's under-16s in the EFL Floodlit Cup. They lifted the trophy on Wednesday evening against Crewe, and here are the highlights.
Certainly been up in the attacking half of the pitch for Exeter.
So nice forward pass, but it's again tidied and won in possession. Here's Sonny Cox coming forward. He's got George on his right hand side. He's found George Spencer. Chance for George Spencer, and George Spencer has given Exeter the lead with a fantastic finish through the goalkeeper's legs.
What great finish, what great weighted pass by Sonny Cox as well, and it's those spaces that we highlighted early in the game.
Well to cover it, but it's fallen to Griffiths in midfield in the box. Looks to cut it back to Holicek. Holicek on the turn, and he has scored, and it's 1-1.
That's that long forward pass we were talking about that's hurting Exeter at the moment.
So corner comes in, headed by the centre forward. It's dropped in the box and is finished. 2-1 to Crewe. First header from Woodcock was blocked, but it fell. I can't quite see who it fell to.
Player Woodcock who can run in behind and work to feet.
Here's Batty on the right hand side. The fullback's getting high again, using his pace, cuts it back, and it is 3-1 to Crewe. The right hand side again, a real threat for Crewe. Great play from the fullback, and he's cut it back, and it's a good finish from Harry Griffiths.
Though, and Exeter really started with that intent in the second half. Alfie Clark really on the front foot, covering a lot of ground and showing his pace.
Sorry, great. Oh, what a good goal
what
from
a fantastic
goal. Sorry to cut across you, Chad, but a really nice turn from Mitchell Beermore, gets into the box with a fantastic finish and made an immediate impact. And Exeter Harrison looks to play into the box. George Spencer up, and it lands at the feet of Alfie Clark, looks to get in, and surely it's a penalty, and it has been given as a penalty to Exeter, but looks to make himself big. Sonny steps up, saved. Rebound is scored by Sonny Cox, so a very good save by Laycock, but Sonny didn't stop, reacted well, followed in, and scores to level up for Exeter 3-3 fantastically well. And now looks to play forwards into the run of Sonny Cox. A really good forward pass. Sonny in behind, cutting in on his left foot. Sonny Cox has scored the fourth goal for Exeter City. 4-3 Fantastic pass from Harrison King, and that is what Sonny Cox can do, Chad.
What a break.
Alfie Clark, again, patient, Kingy on the ball. Really nice pass into Sonny Cox, and it's 5-3 to Exeter. An unbelievable pass from Harrison King, and a hat-trick to Sonny Cox, Chad.
They've done it again, that space, that pass from Harrison King, fullback.
Exeter with all the ball at the moment. Again, looking forward to Ryan. It comes in, into the box for Ryan Johns-Caradio. Another chance for Exeter, comes across to Alfie Clark on his right foot, and he scores, and it's 6-3 to Exeter, and they are absolutely on fire in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and some fantastic attacking play this time, which has picked up. He's going to potentially look to slide Dylan through. No, he goes for a shot himself, and it's been blocked, but it comes back to him, and that is going to be another penalty to Exeter City. Sonny Cox, can he score this one? He's hit the bar, so Sonny has scored a hat-trick tonight, obviously been very influential, but his penalty's not quite on
He's
par.
managed to get a hat-trick tonight, and his performance in front of goal has been fantastic.
And as we talk, Sonny has scored his 4th goal. Corner comes in, really well headed back by Logan Laird, and another finish from Sonny Cox. So again, and there goes the final whistle. So the game has finished here in the National Floodlit Cup final from the EFL. 7-3 to Exeter. Fantastic performance from the Exeter lads, but surely credit to Crewe for, in particular, that first half performance when they really were excellent and really put Exeter on that back foot in that first half, Chad.
One player I'm sure we're all familiar with by now, if not just for his goal gif, is defender Alex Hartridge. Here he is answering your questions we put to him in the week.
We're going to run on now to the fan questions. So we'll start with those. So we've had lots of questions on social media yesterday and this morning. Lots of questions about polishing boots and the now famous goal gif. Trying to bring them all together. Whose idea was that? And also, has it been nice to see the reaction to that? I saw it was on Have I Got News For You, which doesn't often happen for a goal gift. So anyway, yeah, whose idea, and have you been pleased by the reaction to that one?
Yeah, I've said in a few other interviews. Just got sent it by a mate. Kind of said, doing goal gifts today. Has anyone got any ideas? And sent this one from a French rugby player, and it's a classic. And just had to do something, and just it's good that it's got the response it has.
It's great, isn't it? It's nice. It's great to see it, and obviously, if people see it, it means you've scored. So it's a double win. On a slightly different note, Tom Brooks has asked, why did you choose 34 as your squad number?
Well, just got given it actually. It's kind of when you first come into the first team, it's just you're assigned the number, and then once you've, as you can see with like Joel and Benno, once you've kind of broken in, Archie as well, you get the chance to pick a number that you want to stick with.
I would ask you what number would you pick, but then I guess you'd be vying for one of your teammates' shirts, wouldn't you? So we'll pass on that one for now. But Harry Baxendale says, if you could play another sport as a professional, what would it be?
I think I have to say cricket. It's the one I kind of played most growing up alongside football, and still try and play it as much as I can in the off season. Cricket.
That's a good shout. I think the manager will be happy with that one. Joe Parker. Yeah, good shout. Joe Parker, very polite. He says, Alex, you look like you're always in command on the pitch, a true leader. Who is your footballing role model?
I wouldn't say I've got a role model. As a centre half, kind of growing up, probably see John Terry and Rio Ferdinand doing what they did. Kind of Puyol out in Barcelona. They were kind of at the top of the game when I was first starting to watch football. So, yeah, go for one of them two or three.
Decent shouts. Yeah, I like those. A few people asked this as well, so I thought I'd ask, who's the best player you've played with?
Best player I've played with? I'd probably have to say Ethan Ampadu, just because in terms of the relative ability in kind of a youth game, he'd step in and play an under-18 game at 15 and look head and shoulders above everyone else on the pitch, kind of make it look so easy. It's just kind of run a game without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, he's a class act, isn't he? And good on him. He's doing well. I don't know if the answer to this next question could be the same, could be someone different. But Shannon Beadle says, if you could bring one player back to City, who would it be and why?
Yeah, well, Ethan would have to be in the argument, and then you got to look no further than Ollie Watkins doing what he's doing at Villa. I'm sure if he can do that to Van Dijk, he'd still be pretty effective in League Two. So yeah, I'm sure he'd add something.
He'd add something. He'd do a job, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd be all right. Jordan Freeman asks, if you could have any Premier League legend in the team, who would it be and why?
Premier League legend.
Have anyone. You can have anyone here. Could be Ollie, could be Ethan, but you got the pick of the lot here.
I'd have to pick an Arsenal player from that invincible team as an Arsenal fan growing up. So stick Thierry Henry in there. Not too dissimilar from Ollie actually in style of play, but I'm sure he'd do a job in League Two as well. So.
Oh, he'd be handy. Yeah, definitely. I think he'd score a few goals, wouldn't he? Off the pitch, or sort of after a game, Ollie Payne asks, how do you wind down or recover after a game?
Well, just sit around really. Like around the golf on a day off. It's always good to kind of take your mind off the game, and it's a bit of a rite of passage as a footballer. It's kind of almost in the job description to play golf on a day off. But yeah, I really enjoy that.
I'm glad to see you're getting involved. I think Archie said earlier in the season he's learning golf because he gets left out. So you've obviously picked up on that one.
Yeah. There's so many people. Obviously, Masters on this weekend. Everyone was huddled around phones watching it on the way up and back. Yeah.
Get on quality. So when you're not playing sport, you're watching sport. That's the way to be, isn't it? And finally, Harry Gillard asked, what was your biggest football dream as a kid?
I don't know. You watch the Premier League and World Cup events, and you think that's the main dream. But yeah, playing for a living really. Doing something you love every day would be. Well, I'm doing it at the moment, but to kind of have a long career in the game, and that'd be brilliant.
That's superb. Well, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Alex. We wish you all the best for the rest of the season and achieving some of those dreams as you go ahead.
Yeah, maybe not the World Cup.
Maybe not, but we'll see. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
And this is the substitute, Alex Fisher. Oh, my.
And they've pickpocketed them here. It's Joel Randall.
Comes out here for a fine effort and a fine goal from Harry Kite.
Pressure off the ball from the visitors. Now there's another chance here to find the equaliser, and this time it is tucked in by Matt J.
It's now time to hear from one of the supporters, and we're going to hear from this man, Chris Sumner, who I'm sure many of you will know. Here is the real Chris Sumner giving his views on the game.
You're quite unique in that probably a lot more City fans would know who you are if you had your Grecian the Lion costume on.
Yeah, like to dress up as at weekends, as I say.
So how did that come about? I mean, you've been doing it for way over a decade now, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, it's coming up 14 years, I think I've been doing it now. So it's been a while, and obviously we had the excitement at the regeneration last season as well. But how I got into it initially was the club were looking for somebody, and I got talked into it after a few drinks at the cricket. and I was true to my word and didn't look back. Went in, tried on the suit, fitted. There we are, 14 years later. But it's been great to be able to give something back to the club we all love.
I mean, what have been your favourite moments in that suit, would you say?
Oh, is going pitch side at Wembley 4 times. That was quite something. Although the results haven't been great there, that was a great experience, really. And then also you got like your memorable games at the park, like Liverpool in the FA Cup, and you got, for instance, the Argyle game last season. There's some great memories there, and then a couple of mascot Grand Nationals filled it along the way as well.
I mean, what's it like being in the suit as well? I'm assuming, you know, this time of year it's not too bad when it's colder, but those summer months must be a challenge.
Yeah, in the old suit, yes, it was difficult, but I've got to say, once with the regeneration last season, we got some new suits, and obviously had Lexi join the crew as well. But I feel like the new suits are a lot better with regards to not getting too warm. Your head gets warm, and sometimes it can be a bit difficult, but it's nice to have a battery operated fan in there as well, which is something that people might not know about.
I guess it's great to, you know, put smiles on kids' faces of all ages and those big kids as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've said, it's I love doing it because it's giving something back to the club we all love. And first and foremost, I'm a fan, and to be able to volunteer for the club in this way is something I've been proud to do for the last 14 years.
And I guess, does that mean you're missing it even more so, you know, not being able to be Grecian as well as, you know, and watch the games?
Yeah, absolutely. I've obviously been watching the games on iFollow, but it's just nothing compared to being there. It's just now I'm starting to see football as a TV show at the moment, but
it's sad as well, because like obviously, you know, when we're in the office and that, and you see the costume hanging up, and it reminds you again, you know, that no one can sadly be at games at the moment.
Yes, I'm really missing the park at the moment myself, to be honest. It's been a big part of my life. I've been going to games for 23 years, so it's a huge part of my life, and I just hope to be back soon. And funnily enough, as we're going to be talking about Oldham today, that's actually the last game I saw in the flesh at SJP. Absolutely. Back in February.
I mean, a good way to bow out in some respects, that 5-1 win, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a repeat of that on Saturday would be nice, but we shall see. And of course, another interesting fact, of course, Harry Kuehl's manager at Oldham now, isn't he? And last time he came to the park with Notts County,
also a 5-1.
We beat that. Another 5-1. He got sent to the stands.
Absolutely.
Got red carded.
So you said you've been watching on iFollow so far this season. I mean, we are 14 games in, I think. What have you made of it? I mean, 13 unbeaten as well right now. You know, it's been pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great start results wise, and I'm really enjoying watching the young lads coming through, like specifically Joel Randall and Josh Key, who've just impressed me immensely. They've made big strides and start the season, and I think we're on course for it. I said I'd be happy with top 10 come end of the season, but just as long as we're not between 4th and 7th, because I don't really fancy doing playoffs again.
Absolutely. I mean, what would you say has been the standout for you this season? Would it be seeing those guys, you know, guys come through and scoring their first goals for the club and just contributing well?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show how great the academy is from like last night's winning the Floodlit Cup as well. And we're lucky that the academy is the cornerstone of the club, both from the point of view of bringing through local talent and as like a viable business model for the club as well. And it's just testament to show to how good our academy is from that win last night and all the young homegrown talent that we're bringing through at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you see the likes of, you know, Sonny Cox scoring 4 goals as a 15, 16-year-old.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it just gives you great optimism and hope for the future, doesn't it? And you can just see that he's carried on like that, and he's going to be going on to bigger and better things, and good on him.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, Oldham this weekend as well. I think they've not probably done as well as they'd hoped so far this season, but they are very strong away from home. I think they've won the majority of their away matches. So again, it's going to be, tough, but we're good. Home form was back to how it was before, minus that blip of Port Vale. So, it could be a tough game, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. The thing is, with League Two, anyone can beat anyone on their day. So it's one of those leagues. But I think with how we've done so far, I think I'm reasonably happy with how things have gone, and I'm confident in the boys that we can get something on Saturday, whether it's the 3 points, hopefully, or a point. But I think it's great to see the unbeaten run going. Yes, there's been a few blips along the way in terms of like the boys not realising the potential that they actually have, because I really believe in the boys and I think they can do really well this season. And sometimes it's just going to be human error and things like that, but at the end of the day, I'm just proud of how they've done so far, and I'm sure they'll continue doing us proud, really.
Tuesday night probably summed up what you're saying there as well. And, when you've got some of the younger players who stepped in and performed brilliantly against West Brom, I mean, the likes of Alex Hartridge, Will Dean and that Harry Kite all look fantastic, didn't they?
Yeah, it's great. And it's great to have that strength and depth for the squad as well, really. It's nice to have all this homegrown talent to rely on, and a lot of them are more than capable of playing League Two football. So I'd be interested to see if any more of them just get some bit more first team game time this season.
Absolutely. Well, I'll have to push you for your score prediction, and I still don't think anyone has got one right yet this year. So here's your challenge.
Oh, here we go. I'm not a great one with predictions myself, but I'll give it a good go. Let's go 3-1 City.
That's got a nice sound to it, that, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully that'll be the case, and hopefully by 4:45 on Saturday you'll be celebrating in front of the TV, I'm sure, with a pint in hand.
Fingers firmly crossed.
Thanks for your time, Chris.
Yeah, pleasure. Catch you later.
Hopefully see you soon.
Yeah. Cheers, Scott. Catch you later, buddy.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of Park Life. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do join us on iFollow for the game for just £10. Season ticket holders, you know what to do. Also, make sure you join us on social media on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. That's all we've got time for, so come on City!